Now, as some of you might have been able to guess by now, I love Sorare. I love playing Sorare. I love everything about the game and its core principles. Everything the game's about: owning cards, following players through their career, fantasy football, trading in the market, seeing a diamond in the rough, and taking those unexpected teams to the top of the leaderboards. And over the years, I've won a bunch of stuff. I've been on podiums, I've won tournaments, cash, cards, you name it. I've been there, seen it, done it. But one of the things that Sorare has been missing, and one of the things that we're about to get our teeth stuck into, is the Sorare Championship, which I'm calling, and I think they've took the feedback I gave them certainly, and it's kind of like the subtitle name for it, the Manager of the Month Award. This is a 5 game week competition where only your 3 best scores are counted. And in this competition, which is running over essentially a month, it is only money can't buy experiences, shirts, match day tickets, VIP experiences, all that good stuff. And when I say, I love everything about Sorare, I was saying this to, I can't remember who it was, whether it be Charlie, the editor, or maybe Harry, or somebody else, but it was on a call after a show or before a show, that kind of thing. And I remember being just a normal football fan, not saying I'm not normal now, but just your normal football fan, not having this access and not having this kind of game at the tip of my fingers, sitting there wishing and thinking, next year I'm going to do some football tourism. Next year I want to go and watch a Premier League match. Next year I'm going to go to Spain. Next year I'm going to go to a big derby match. And the reality is, for a lot of people, that is a pipe dream, because getting a hold of tickets, getting access into these things, where do you even start? Do you become a member of a club and, get on the ticket scheme and then cross your fingers you can get it lined up? Or do you enter raffle? There's lots of different ways. But Sorare, because of their official partnerships with all the leagues and clubs that they have on the platform, mean that they have been able, don't get me wrong, I've benefited from this a lot already over the last few years, but they are able to give out all sorts of stuff as prizes and rewards for collections and tournaments over the last couple of years. And the prizes in this are very exciting, and I'll show you what we've got to compete for. But for me, the primary motivation for this competition for myself is to win it, is to finish first. I said to Sorare in the feedback for this, you really need to give the person that wins this some sort of trophy. They've not confirmed that, but I am going to be competing on the premise that there will be a trophy at the end of it, and that is exactly what I want. In the video today, I'll show you the tournament, the rules of engagement and all that kind of stuff, as well as the team I'm going to be submitting into the first iteration, the first leg of the Sorare Championship, the Manager of the Month. Now, if you are new to Sorare and you've not opened up your account yet, there's a link in the description in this video. It'll also be in the pinned comment, and it will get you $150, pounds, euros, whatever your currency is, of market credit to go out there and reinforce your roster. The amount of credit you get is linked to purchases on site, so make sure to read the terms and conditions. And that link is exclusive to me here on the channel. Sorare and love the content at Quinny 3001, and that is genuinely the best link you're ever going to find to sign up and get your account up and running. By clicking on that, you do support me and all the content here at the channel. So if you get stuck, if you've got any questions, jump into the comment section, I'll come and help you out. And if you're looking for like a beginner tutorial, a beginner basics, hints and tips and tricks, that kind of content, the new to Sorare Start Here playlist is also in the description of the video. But yeah, let's just get stuck straight into this, because this is something I have been waiting for ever since it was announced, the Sorare Championship. Now, it's going to run in September, and we're going to have some other iterations. This is going to be something that runs, I think, basically every month of the season. Top prize is going to get VIP tickets to El Clasico, Real Madrid versus Barcelona, plus €1,000 of expenses. VIP tickets with the same expense account for Liverpool, Aston Villa, same with Atletico Madrid v Sevilla, and Nice against Lille, or Newcastle versus Tottenham, depending on what your fancy is. But for those tickets in 4th and 5th, there's no expense account that comes with that. The top 20 will enjoy signed jerseys from 21st to 40th, just a jersey, so it'll be a shirt from this season, but it won't be signed or anything. And then from 41st to 100, 2 regular tickets, so you plus 1 to the Premier League, to La Liga, to Bundesliga, or Liga 1, one of the 4 big leagues in European football. And just to reiterate again, these will not be paid out at the end of the upcoming game week. This is going to run for 5 game weeks, and only your 3 best scores count. So even if you miss the first week, or if you have a bad first score, then there's still plenty of time for you to make up the difference and to climb up the leaderboard. Now, for me, I am going to be prioritising this competition as one that I am actively pursuing. Now, I did think this would be one of the first teams that I would build, but in reality, I'll just show you this at a glance. I have went ahead, first of all, and already built my money-making strategies, my road to glory, my main collection pieces and everything else. I've already laid them out there and put them all in for the game week ahead, so that now as I come to the championship in the order of the priority that it is, we've only built 2 All-Star lineups, the only Division 1s that we've got. It is all hands on deck. It is battle stations to go and get the best 5 that I possibly can. In here, you're allowed 5 cards of any scarcity, so whether you play limited, rare, anything, it doesn't matter. The captain is going to get a 50-point multiplier, and the sum score, this is a cap 280 competition, which isn't too restrictive, but it does stop people just filling it up with, you know, stars galore. Really, you do need to know a thing or two about a thing or two and maybe make a compromise here or there along the way. Now, I think with cap competitions, it's always really important to have a low value goalkeeper. Now, the value of all the players, if you are new around here, is their last 15 average score. Sorare scores go from 0 to 100, and the L15 is just the kind of the barometer on how someone's form is doing. So you take all their scores over the last 15, divided by 15, and there you go. So we've got keepers like Kasper Schmeichel up here on a 66. Would be a great option with the fixture as well, but very expensive. So I don't know if we'll be able to squeeze him in. And you can see with goalkeepers, outside of Kasper Schmeichel, certainly the ones I've got remaining, there's not too much reliably consistent high scoring guys. You really, with goalkeepers, really need to read the fixture, really need to have a feel for the team and where they are and everything. And for me, my number 1 goalkeeper choice, I think, is Dimitar Mitov. Only a 43-point cap score. He's at home, which is good for Aberdeen generally, to Livingston, who generally don't score very many goals. So at 43 points, I think he is an easy selection and to be our goalkeeper. Now, defence is going to be a bit tougher because some of these guys are worth the points. Guys like Yaimar, CCV, and 1 or 2 others who have the really high value. They bring the points, they bring the pain. And I don't think we'll be able to quite stretch into that upper level. So I'm looking more at guys like Malte Amundsen, Kieran Tierney, even Burke Risa. I'm looking at these guys that are solid, reliable. I'm also rather tempted on the defender Rio Hatate, because that could be kind of cheat code. He's not went away for international duty. We're playing Kilmarnock. He's got a lot to prove. And that could be a real cheat code defender card as I'm looking at it now. But I don't think with defenders, I don't have many. You might not have them either. Low value guys, it's a bit better of a reflection on a defender than it is a goalkeeper in terms of their score. So it's harder to find that Mitov type player that's maybe a little bit undervalued on the L15. And I think in light of trying to win it and trying to smash a big score, I think Rio Hatate is probably the one I'm going to go with. He is 52 points, so he's cheaper than that other band, and he's got real spike potential to really lift off and have a massive game. Now, midfield has to be a solid scorer. There's no two ways about it. Midfield is a lot of people's captain position, and generally midfielder cards that I own and you own can be a bit punchier, can be a bit more 80, 90, 100 capable. And that's the sort of realm, that's the sort of range that I'm trying to look at with these players here. If I knew that Danny Olmo was going to play at 48 points, he would be really nice. Similar to guys like Engels on the 47. We've got Matt O'Reilly, maybe making a debut for Marseille. Or maybe not. Maybe not from the start anyway. Oh, look who I've just spotted is returned. Teje Savanier. Away to Green Camp, right? But he's just came. Do we know if he's going to start or not? If we knew Teji was going to start, that would be absolutely OP. But it's a wee bit shaky. And although we've got the freedom of the 3 best scores over 5 game weeks, I don't think we want to take the chance on a Teji. I'm just scrolling down to see if anyone's hidden in here, but no, there's not really anything else going on. Stuart Armstrong, I think, will be really good for Aberdeen. It's his first game though. I don't know if he's going to start. And yeah, looking at the early projections, it doesn't look like he's on to start this game. I think they'll work him into the team, but it might just be a game week too early for the Stuart Armstrong arm bomb. Got Santi Rodriguez starting to play in Brazil, which is interesting. We've got a wee Mikey Johnson there at home at Derby. But the midfield actually is, I don't know if it's not thin. There's plenty of guys here, but in terms of runners and riders, guys that I look at and think, oh yeah, he could do the job for us. Not really seeing too many jump off the page. James Rodriguez could be okay after an international break where he's Colombia'd up. But if I look at his last 2 appearances post-international window, Brazil, Paraguay, and then off the bench. And then if we scroll along a bit more, Peru, Argentina, off the bench. So I think James is a little bit sketchy. Joachima Fujita at home to Augsburg feels pretty good. Leo to lose. I wonder if Broholm's going to play. Doesn't look like it. I might have to go with Joachima Fujita. Hannes Will for 1 point more. We could go to Callum McGregor for safety at 47. Even the Maxi Morales at 56. There's a few difficult options here. And that's probably the one thing I'd ask from you guys in the chat. Is this midfield spot? Marcos Llorente might be sneaky at 57. At home to Villarreal is a tough game, but that's a sort of game where, yeah, he could really pop off with a good one. And this is a sort of score profile that we need to come into the team. I'm going to go with Joachima Fujita. I like the rookie card. He got a good game in the derby, and I think he can build on that after having some international exposure over the window. Now, for forwards, we do have plenty of choices. Taki Kubo's jumping out at me here. I know it's a tough game against Real Madrid, but he's very AA friendly. Memphis Depay has just became the record goal scorer for the Netherlands, and coming back to go away to Fluminense, not a great game. Yeah, last international window he DNP'd after it, and the one before that, yeah, the same. So he's probably a little bit risky post-international window. We've got Dyson Maeda's coming out of our ears. And then we've got guys like Neymar, Jonathan David, Jordan Larson, Oyarzabal, Albion Ajeti even. We actually have a lot of different forward options, but I think I might have to go to Ayase Ueda, who just caught my eye there. At home for Feyenoord, in a pretty decent game. As I just scroll down, just to make sure there's no wee stragglers, no wee hidden gems down here, which I don't think there is. But yeah, Ayase Ueda, L1549, at home to Heerenveen, feels like a pretty good scorer. And then that leaves us with 78 points remaining, which means we could upgrade to Schmeichel in goals, and we would still have 55 remaining. So if we upgrade to Schmeichel, let's just see what our best option is at L15 cap 55 or below. Tierney, Burke Risa, some of these guys look okay, don't they? And then as we scroll down, was there anyone else in this kind of mire that was a good option? I don't think so. Now this is a good kind of strategy point or conversation, because changing the goalkeeper there, like, does it, you know, what's the benefit? You know, Schmeichel could get the clean sheet and Mitov might not. They're both kind of the same thing, but the knock-on effect it has to the options that I can fill in with are, I don't know if it's significant, because who's above that I would want to play? Maybe a Stefan Savic, a Gasarowski, a Yaimar, a CCV. So we could do that, and it would open up Ferran Torres as probably being the best option if we went to Schmeichel. But if we go back to the Mitov, we could just put Carter Vickers in here. Now, Vickers has a little bit of jeopardy on him, just with the pitch and everything like that. We could go with McGregor for safety. And I think that's what I might do here. I might go with McGregor just to get a good... Because what I'm thinking is, Joachima Fujita could definitely deliver another 70 odd. If McGregor gets a decisive, he's super high scoring. And I think Ueda, I think the rest of this team is actually going to fit the bill quite nicely. In terms of captain, I'll be captaining Hatate, because I just think he is the most 100 capable. If he can get his decisive, have a good game, and then he's probably going to get subbed off at some point, but if he can get subbed off with the clean sheet bonus, that's where he really comes in quite clutch. McGregor after the international window should be revitalised. AA is there for days. He just needs to catch one of those decisives, and that could be exactly the sort of midfielder we're after. So yeah, I really like this build. We've got 21 points left over. I don't think there's really an upgrade to be had, other than maybe Gasarowski into defence. He's quite safe but away from home. And Ueda is quite cheap. Is there someone that's maybe, because I just looked, Ueda's likely to play but not super high nailed on. I guess this wiggle room gives us the flexibility to manoeuvre the forward card between now and the deadline. We've got Thomas Muller there that might not be too shabby either. See, we could just go for Dyson Maeda. And see, as I get to this, I'm just thinking, could I actually just run a Celtic stack? Play Carter Vickers in defence. Do you know what we could, by the way? And I think the fixture's good enough where that's not a terrible idea. We're missing out on Ueda, who could be flaky. Fujita should be alright, but it's a should be, isn't it? I'm actually going to stick with this, I think. I know it's a little bit boring, but I think it's a great fixture. We can stack it and we can run with it. Mitov, the goalkeeper, makes it all possible as well. And I think this will be a lesser trodden strategy. Now, I'm tempted to swap the Hatate defender around, but I'm going to stick with that as a cheat code option. So there we go. We're going to be running a Celtic stack. Shock horror. Captain Hatate. And we're going to be going after the Manager of the Month award. Now, it's a single entry. You only get one team into it, and it's your 3 best scores over the 5 games. I'm quite hopeful that this team could actually smash a good bit. And I don't think, because I've got so many copies of all of these cards, I've got like 6 or 7 Hitates at this point. Too many McGregors and Maedas to count, and a couple of Vickers, where I think This is going to be good. It doesn't detract from anything else I've got. It's an optimal fixture, optimal stack, and we're allowed to play it, so we're locked and loaded and we're going for it. Wish me luck, everyone. I'm looking forward to this, and I say this is more of a Sorare history, a Sorare accolade. You know, I remember when we did game week 250, they did a massive special for it. Me, John Nellis, Hendo, Alex, and my cousin Jack, we all went to Spain, and halfway through the game week, me and Nellis were first and second. You know, it was absolutely mental, and it was one of the biggest specials that they ever done. We sadly both trickled down the leaderboard a little bit. I think I finished in 14th or something, or 6th, and Nellis was like 5th, or yeah, I think I finished like 6th or 7th, and Nellis finished like 5th. Something like that anyway. We won some super rares, it was good. But that buzz, that excitement, that engagement, that type of tournament is something I've been waiting to come back into the Sorare ecosystem, and it is here, and I am going into the deep end with it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below about what your own strategy is for Sorare Manager of the Month, the Sorare Championship. Your goal might not even be to win it and go to El Clasico. You might be just happy getting into the top 100 and getting some match tickets to the Premier League or La Liga or whatever it might be. So this isn't a competition you need to think about winning, although I am. It's just about getting into the top 100. Let me know your thoughts and feelings, your angle of approach, and everything else in between. On screen and now some other stuff that I've made that YouTube thinks you might enjoy. If you haven't done so already, hit the like button, subscribe for more, all that good stuff, guys. Stay out of trouble, and I will catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.